Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iPad today is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
Sarah has the day off today. I am Megan Morrone.
Oh, yay!
And today we're talking about kids apps.
Well, yeah, plus we'll help you style your hair even if you ain't got none, and we'll show you how to program.
And I'm going to show you the latest app from Microsoft. The Outlook is good.
On iPad today. iPad today is brought to you by MeUndies. MeUndies is the most comfortable and hip underwear you'll ever wear. Check out all the styles and get 20% off your first order, plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/twit. Oh my goodness, welcome to iPad today. I'm Leo Laporte, and that there is not Sarah Lane, that's Megan Morrone.
I am Megan
But
Morrone.
I think I've known you at least as long as Sarah Lane, if not longer.
I think she came after me to Tech TV, yes, for sure.
So Megan, of course, worked with us on the Screensavers, was a segment producer, you answered phones, you were on-air host. I remember talking to you, you showed us tips and things.
Yes, I did.
I dimly remember that.
Yes, I did Mac tips.
Yeah,
and,
Mac tips.
I think I was really good at search. I was the best person to use Google.
Wow, that's a good thing to know. And then you were one of the early hosts on Twit with Jumping Monkeys. We did a show. How long did we do Jumping Monkeys?
I think it was, it felt like 10 years, but I think it was 1 year.
1 year. And then you had twins to add to your rapidly growing family.
Well, I had them before.
Okay.
I had the twins are as old as Twit. They were born in 2005, April 2005.
So they're almost 10.
Yes, they are almost 10.
Wow.
So, yeah, I got
And Annabella is a couple of years older than them?
She is, yes, she's almost 12.
She's almost 12.
Yeah. So I got my stuff together. I did the podcast. It was awesome. Then I went back to my old job, and then I thought, oh, they're really doing something here. They're for real. They're gonna
so
stick
you
around.
regretted leaving, huh?
Every minute.
No, I would run into Megan, because Megan lives in Petaluma, and I would run into Megan, and I'd say, you ready to come back yet? She said, under no circumstances. So I'm really glad that we could get you. Sarah Lane, as some people know, took a job at TechCrunch. She's still doing iPad today, but we couldn't do it on our normal Saturday.
Why couldn't we do it on our normal Saturday, Mr. Laporte?
I'm trying to remember. I think I was out of town.
What were you doing?
I was getting married.
You were getting married.
Not a big deal. Yeah. Yeah. Lisa and I tied the knot on Thursday and took a couple of extra days off. But it was fun because we didn't invite anybody. We did have to, it turns out, I didn't expect this, but we did have to get a preacher.
Yeah.
I thought we'd just do it ourselves.
No witnesses?
No. In California, there's a marriage license aptly called the confidential marriage license that requires no witnesses.
Huh.
So it was just us, the preacher. Preacher has to sign it. You have to have an officiant sign it, and then the catering staff, because we got this package. It was called the elopement package, but it included champagne, hors d'oeuvres, a cake. They expect you to have guests. It was elopement. We didn't have any guests. So the guy was going around with champagne and hors d'oeuvres. Would you like an hors d'oeuvre? No, thank you. Would you like an hors d'oeuvre? No, thank you. Would you like an hors d'oeuvre now? Yes. Because after a while, the hors d'oeuvres start piling up. We paid for them. Yeah. We cut the cake, but we didn't want any cake, so it disappeared. But I believe that the staff at the hotel had a lovely cake dinner.
So you didn't smush it in each other's faces?
I was sure Lisa was going to do that, because Lisa's that type of person.
Yeah, she's waiting. There's cake now in the break room.
Maybe it didn't really disappear. Maybe she's got it. She's saving it for just the right moment.
Expect it.
Anyway, yeah, thank you. It was a lot. I don't know if you said congratulations, but
I did say congratulations.
I'll pretend you did.
Yeah, so that's why Sarah's not here. She will come back.
Because she's so upset that I married Lisa. She said, I'm at it. No, she works Monday through Friday, and I wasn't here Saturday. But thank you so much, Megan, for doing this.
Thank you.
Megan hosts Tech News Tonight every Monday through Friday, our evening news show, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right at midnight UTC. And this has been a good week, a couple of weeks for you to start, because there's been a lot of news.
Yeah, good news.
Ton of stuff. Yeah. But today we're going to shift gears.
I also host i5 for the iPhone. Sarah did give that up. I don't know if you knew.
I'll be damned. No, I didn't know. And you just started that. This is your first week.
My first show will, I think, tomorrow is when you can have it. Yeah, we've already done it. So, yes.
So, iPad-wise, I think you're fairly new to the iPad.
I am fairly new. You know, I was a contract worker for Microsoft.
So did you have tablets at home?
Yeah, we have an Android tablet. We have a Samsung tablet. And
Surfaces all over the place.
All over. Every Surface is a Surface in our house. Every Microsoft
much
contractor.
like the NFL.
Yes. So, you know, I've just spent the last 3 or 4 years thinking, oh, there's no app for me. There's no app for me. And now there's
an app.
Everything.
There's a lot of apps.
And yeah, so my kids have been playing on iPads because whenever they're with my parents, they always play with my dad.
Do they like the iPad?
Have you ever met a kid who didn't like the iPad?
No, that's the amazing thing.
Right.
So we thought, since Megan's here and she's actually a mom, unlike Sarah, who's just pretending, we would get some recommendations for apps that Annabella, Huck, and always want to say Huck and Finn, Huck and Milo, her kids. Why didn't you name Milo Finn? It would have been so cute to have Huck and Finn.
And then I could have named Annabella Tom.
Would have been great.
Or then had another kid and named him Mark.
Would have been great.
Twain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put a,
Tom Sawyer.
I think thematic naming is so important with children.
Yeah.
Especially when you have more than 1 or 2.
Well, you know, when we used to do Jumping Monkeys, I was always ahead of you because I had 3 kids and you had 2, but now you have 3 too.
I do. I have a stepson now,
trying to
Michael.
catch up to me.
And Lisa's son is Annabella's age. In fact, they go to school together.
They go to school together. They do.
Wow.
Yeah.
So here I am again in your life. I'm so sorry.
Well, when we did Jumping Monkeys, it was that I think that your kids were about Annabella's age.
Maybe.
They've, you know.
Gosh, has it been that long?
So should we start talking about? Oh my goodness.
There you are.
I know. And there's Annabella too. That wasn't just me overweight. That was her.
You're pregnant when you're doing that. I was looking for him. So that's Abby on the left and Henry on the right, my 2 children, and you worked with them on the screensavers when they were awfully small.
Yeah, and I remember very clearly because we just let them go, and Abby wasn't interested, but Henry was definitely interested, like into that big bay of computers where everyone was playing these really violent games.
Yeah, he loved that.
And
I think that's when Jennifer came running over.
She did. She was
said,
like,
no.
He's not allowed to do that. And I was like, what? You have to stop your kids from playing video games? And now that is, I have learned. So should we start?
Yeah, we've picked a couple of apps that are kid tested.
Yes. So this one is only in portrait, and it's brand new. You know Vine, right?
Yeah.
You're familiar with Vine, the 6-second, they're owned by Twitter, and they do these little videos. But, you know, kids love videos, but if you go on Vine or YouTube, like, you're bound to just come across really inappropriate things. So Vine just created this, and you just scroll through. It's just little videos.
So the kids aren't creating videos. These are videos.
Here, Liz, you gotta watch this.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Wait a minute. A dog can't speak?
So this is for littler kids.
I think we'd get better ratings if we just sat on that.
I know. Well, they're better ones. They're even better ones. Just look at their more I love yous.
You too.
I love you.
You should have played this at your wedding.
This is sweet. So they're kind of just an infinite number of...
Yeah, I mean, they start the same ones. So my kids have been, you know, this just came out last week, but they go through, but you know, that I love you dog never gets old.
Never gets old.
And so they can just tap it, it makes funny noises, it doesn't, here's what I like about it. Well, first of all, it's curated, so you're not gonna find any inappropriate material. I also like, there's no sharing, there's no sending, there's no voting, there's all the things that like are great for adults, but I don't think kids need to start that early with like, I have to email this, I have to rate it, I have to, you know, let's just play. Let's just watch a porcupine on the piano because that is fun in and of itself.
You know what? I'm downloading this. Forget for kids.
Yeah, I know, it's true. Here's some pigs. Pigs are also cute.
Pigs are good. Do they say I love you?
No, everybody doesn't say I love you. But yeah, it's from Vine. I mean, there's no ads, also awesome. Oh, I'm a dog person. Sarah was a cat person. I'm a dog person, so. There's one with like, this one is my favorite here.
Oh no! What the heck?
So it's the thing of Vine, they just repeat, which is, I don't know how they discovered that was hilarious, but it is.
And I wonder if these are submitted to Vine or where they get these.
I don't know. They said that it was. This one's cute too.
You shouldn't make fun of disabled dogs, but
I know there is some.
It's hard not to.
It's so cute. It doesn't know.
It doesn't know. It's got nerve damage.
So it
I
is
love
not.
you, Vine.
I don't know if you can submit. Oh, here's another cat. This one. We'll play this in Sarah's honor. I know we could spend the entire.
Okay, so do the kids love these?
Yes, they love them. Like
They must live with this game.
Yes, and
oh
you know,
my gosh.
It's just passive entertainment. Hand over your iPad.
I got something that's a little more active.
Yeah. Oh, this one's good too.
Hours of fun.
Yeah, I guess you could
6
submit.
seconds
It's brand
at a
new,
time.
so yeah. And
Isn't
then
that
I'm sure
great?
there'll be new features.
Fine
but I
for
like
kids.
it's how simple it is. You know, just you can touch it and then
Love this.
Yeah.
All right, stop. If we don't stop,
Then
we'll just
you have to
this
tell me
whole
because
show-
I could go on.
I want to show you
Do you
one.
want? Okay, you show me something.
So you've heard of Toca, T-O-C-A.
Yes.
I don't if it stands for something or I don't know. It's from Toca Boca AB, and they have so many games now that they have bundles. You remember when they started doing bundles on the App Store?
Yeah.
So you can buy the Toca Big for $17. You can get. I think this is all of them. You can get a ton of Toca.
And with no ads for $17?
I guess so, yeah. $6.99 for the Toca toy box. Anyway, I'm going to show you a couple of Tocas. First, we showed you Toca Hair Salon 1, I think, some time ago. Does Annabella like to do hair?
She does, yes.
So Abby always liked to do hair, too, when she was little. She thought she was going to be a hairdresser.
She might still.
She may still.
I just changed careers again.
I encouraged her to go to a hairdressing school. So the idea is, and we'll play this game right now. There are, I got to enter my year of birth. And this is because of the Child Online Protection Act. I bet you they've never seen that year before. Wait a minute. What? Oh, no, I didn't want Toca Train. Okay, this is one thing that's bad about Toca. These are free, but you're going to want to get the kid into it because you saw how easy it was for me to accidentally say I wanted to get that game.
Right.
I don't want that game. So we're going to go through it again one more time, and I'm going to press the button here and play now. Okay. No, not that. See, this is the train. No, see, it's very confusing. Okay, now we're in the game. I pressed the wrong button. Who should I be? What do you like?
The redhead.
All right. She looks kind of like Brave, right?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. So it's a hair salon, and we have all the hair tools, and we could start using them. And, of course, the first thing a kid's going to do is just cut the hair off.
The first thing a boy would do.
Really? No?
Well,
A girl wouldn't do this?
I don't know. The first thing you
And then
did.
let's shave the head. Yeah, she's not going to like that either. So I can comb
She's
it now.
complaining a little bit.
So it's so much fun. And they have, this was done to me recently.
Yes, it was.
And, okay, you can see.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. And there's other things to do, I'm sure, but I can't figure out how to do it because I'm an adult. But a child will quickly figure out that if you spray the grow stuff on, it's going to just, it makes a nice sound, too.
But that is the dirty little secret about kids know how to use the app. So at one point, you're just like,
Yeah. Well, you want a kid to grow up knowing how to do a hair salon on an iPad. So that's Toca Hair Salon 2. But notice we're kind of limited in the choices of people we can work on. So they now have Toca Hair Salon Me, baby.
Oh, do you put your picture in
It's
there?
all about me, baby. And frankly, given my current state of hair, this is really a good game for me. So let's start by taking a picture
That's not
of
you.
me. Yeah, no, that's not me. Anyway, turn the camera around and let's get the hair in there, right? Let's get the. Okay,
Make your
we're gonna
selfie face.
I didn't really need to. I really didn't need to do that without the hair. You can change the shape of the head. All right, that's good. And they do want to know where your eyes are, because you'll see why. This again, hours of fun, and these are all free. Whoa. Okay, there I am.
Not you.
That's me. So I can try different hairstyles.
Is that real? Oh, that is you.
Oh, it's
with
me.
a mustache.
No, it's just a shadow over my lip. Let's see. I don't really want the mullet here,
Why?
so.
You don't miss the long hair that much. Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Oh.
Oh,
Let's just. I don't know. What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah.
I like your hair now.
So you got to imagine a kid would love. I mean, that's me.
Yeah.
And it's animated.
Looks just like you.
And I can put more grow on. I like the little sound, squishiness.
Wow. Wow.
Now I look like Shingy, the digital prophet. So there you go, Toca Hair Salon, and the new one, which is Toca Hair Me. And you can try other people too.
Yeah, I like the hair. I mean, you know, I like to say.
Sarah's not here. We should really
Cut her hair while she's
mess
not
with
here.
Andy and
Oh.
Nako. Yeah.
Last minute decision.
Yeah,
Probably a
I
good
know.
one.
Yeah, probably a good one. Yeah, I don't want to mess with Sarah when she's not here. And that looks good. Let's see how Andy and Nako looks in the toga. It does look just like Andy, actually.
That's pretty amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this, and you know, this is not a learning thing. This is not educational unless you, I don't know, think you might want to make your living chopping off people's hair and making them look funny.
Well,
But
it's an occupying thing.
Hair
which is-
Salon 2, which is just playing around, but you got to get Hair Salon.
Right.
I think this is $3. This one.
Well, I like an app that doesn't. Nothing wrong with an ad-supported game
Yeah,
or
but
program, but when they're constantly, your kids are going to get ads.
You've learned from the in-app purchase thing. Did you ever have
Yeah.
a problem with that?
My dad did,
Yeah.
yes, because they were playing on his iPad and would buy all kinds of things. But yeah, the ads. It's nice to be.
Do you know how to
have some
use
time.
these? These are, I think, called curling irons.
That's a straightening iron, the red one.
Oh, it is.
And then there's a curling iron.
And then this is for what? Teasing.
Yes. But as I was saying, it's nice to be able to hand over your iPad and not have to really worry, even if they're not learning something. They're learning how a touchscreen works.
They're having loads of fun. And you know what the truth is? The real reason for an iPad is so those kids won't bother you anymore.
While you're eating dinner.
While you're eating dinner.
Yes. So, is it my turn now? Yeah. Okay.
No.
All right.
Yes, it's your turn.
So, have you heard of the game Vainglory?
Vainglory.
It's a MOBA. Are you familiar with the MOBA?
Was Will Smith in that?
No. It's a multiplayer online battle arena, and they actually used it when they were showing off the iPhone 6.
Neat.
To show off.
No, I'm not familiar with it.
So, it is.
Do the boys love this?
They love it. And so, okay, they're just mostly in training. So you could play a public match with other players, but then it'll give you this warning. You're about to play a match with real players. Matches usually take 20 to 30 minutes to complete, which we don't have. But then a reminder, abandoning a match ruins the game for other players.
Oh, don't abandon it.
No, we're not going to do that. So you're playing with other people. And I'll show you the game, and then I'll tell you all the things I like about it. So my kids are really just in the training and practice. So you can choose your hero. They just had this. I guess in training and practice, I only have a few choices.
It's so hard when you're used to playing the game for real, for money, for blood.
Right. I'm gonna lock in Catherine.
They do that too.
Vainglory has a lot of the normal, sexist images of women, as you see here. But
do you care about that kind of thing?
Of course I care, as everyone should. But it's also a fun game. Here's what I like about it. It's going to take a minute to load, so I will tell you that. Here it is. We're just playing for practice, so we don't mess up. See, I'm MOBA Megan. There I am.
MOBA Megan.
It is kind of bloody, but you know what? It's 9 and up, and my kids are almost 10, so
okay, that's fair.
9 and up. And they're going to do this. I don't mind the bloody game. And here's what I like about this one. There's no chat interaction or voice interaction. So if kids are playing online and they have older people who are talking to them or yelling at them or cursing them.
So it's more like, this kind of looks like a tower defense kind of a game. They're trying to attack you, you're trying to attack them.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
or
it's
League
not like
of
Clash
Legends.
It is like League of Legends.
It's League of Legends.
Yeah, more League of Legends than Clash of Cans.
Clash of Cans.
Clash.
Is that the Garbage Man game? Because I love that.
Glad you went there with the Clash
Every
of Cans.
Every morning I like the Clash of Cans.
So it is that my kids love it. They are addicted to it, and that's a good thing for occupying. And they're learning. So you can, let's see, also there's training and there's practice and there's party where you can play together. The only way you can actually talk to other people is if you're playing in the same room, which my twins like to do. Like they'll each be on their own device. They'll play on a Wi-Fi network together, and they like to do that. And then they can chat.
And is this free? Vainglory?
Yeah.
I want to play this.
Well, we
I
should.
want to play this. Your handle is
MOBA, yeah.
MOBA
well,
Megan?
I don't know. Maybe people pronounce it MOBA. It stands for Multi-Online Battle Arena.
Okay, MOBA Megan. By the way,
so-
I've continued to refine my look, and I think when the hair grows back, this is it. I think that's what I'm going to go with. What do you think?
It's moments like that that I'm wondering if you were listening at all to me, Leo.
No, it's pretty
Lucky
much like
I'm
it was on
used
the
to it.
screensavers.
Yeah. This is he's... All right.
MOBA,
Yeah.
multiplayer online
But it's
battle
called
arena.
Vainglory.
But it's Vainglory,
And
but it is a MOBA.
Yes, it is a MOBA, and
I want to play this. I'm going to get this. I
yeah,
didn't know
and
about
it's good
this.
for the. I
Yeah.
mean, it's optimized for the iPad, and doesn't. It's not like really stuttering. Or
So
we
you
have any
can
problems.
train locally, but play online later.
Right.
But if you have to have the time to play a game, because you don't want to bail.
Right. You don't want to bail. You don't want to leave
Yeah.
your players.
Did you see the
look,
Clash of Clans ad yesterday with Liam Neeson?
I loved that.
I have some very special skills.
That might have been my favorite ad.
That's a great. And you got to think that these apps are making, because that was a $4 million commercial.
Yeah.
Before you pay Liam,
Right.
who's another million. It's got to be.
Yeah. Maybe
you
he
want
did
me
it
to
for
do
free
what?
because he loves Clash of. You don't think he's a. Really? You don't think he sits around and he's on a set and he's like, oh, my elixir! Someone's taking my elixir!
I don't know. What do you think? A big star like Liam Neeson, and he's playing off of his role in Taken 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have some very special skills, and I'm going to come and I'm going to. And do you and it's an ad for an app.
Right.
I think $1 million.
Oh, how much money? I
Don't
thought you
you
were going to ask
think?
me if I thought he really played, which I'm still. I mean,
I
I
don't-
guess he's just a really good actor because I believed it.
And then the Starbucks guy goes, "Coffee for Liam." Coffee for Liam. That was a great ad.
It was, and they were playing it. My boys were playing Clash of Clans during the Super Bowl instead of watching it, and the ad came up while they were playing. I'm not
We are
sure.
not going to recommend Clash of Clans on this show because it's very expensive. Again, Michael, same age, comes over and said, "Would you buy me a $50 box of gems?"
And what'd you say?
I said, "You know how much money $50 is? You would have to wash my car 10 times."
Well, here's why that is a good reason not to recommend it. Here's why I don't recommend it is the alerts and the notifications are nonstop. And if you have a kid that has their own device and has it in their room and they they get up in the morning and they think the first thing I need to do is click, it's
They'll
really
never
addictive.
They'll never get ready for school.
It's addictive. So I think there are games that are cool and wonderful that don't do that. So that's why I wouldn't recommend it. And yet I do let my kids play it.
And Michael plays it nonstop. And Minecraft. Huck and Milo like Minecraft.
Yeah, and I like Minecraft too. I mean, the only bad thing about Minecraft is they would play it 24 hours a day, every single day, and not eat or shower
So here's
or
the thing.
sleep or anything else.
Wouldn't it be cool if there were a game that they loved that were addictive and fun that actually taught them a skill? This is called Tinker. We've shown it before. I want to give it another plug because it's about learning how to program a computer in a game environment. And I think Huck and Milo would, and Annabella absolutely would love this.
Well, they've played like code.org. Is it similar to that? But
Similar
cooler?
and similar to that. And I have to say this has really come a long way. We've showed this before. And a little plug. This is Mike Elgin's son's game. Kevin works for the company that does this game.
Mike Elgin of Tech News Today.
Of Tech News Today. So you saw all the choices. This has come so far since we showed it before. It is really fun. You, in order to play the game, will have to give programmatic commands. So this character you control with programmatic commands. Can you make your own adventure game? Try adding new characters, changing the background. And I'll show you the interface real quickly. This is the help. And I want to show you this too because this will give you some idea of what age kid can kind of do this by themselves. If it's a younger child, absolutely do it with mom and do a little lapware, as we used to call it, where they sit in your lap. But start by creating a scene and then plus to add backgrounds and actors. Some actors come with code. You can scale them, move them, resize them. That's the coding window. We'll show that in a second. Connect code blocks together. So this has become, since we showed you last, a really elaborate simulation of actual programming. This is the environment.
So you just pull it.
So these are all the commands. Now these are common commands, but you can also see motion commands, switch to costume. And so all of this will happen by them adding it into the workflow. And you'll see it snaps together if it's doable. So when touching night occurs, say, leave me alone, and then play the electric snare drum for 0.2 seconds, which is great. And then you could change that number, obviously. There are also pen drawing. So I don't know if you were the right age to have learned logo turtle graphics in school.
No.
But they used to teach this. There would be, you'd have the pen, you'd go left, you draw things, and learn programming this way. Sensing is the mouse down. This is actually very analogous to real programming. There even is math in here, if you wish.
If you wish.
If you wish.
What if you don't wish?
If you don't wish, you don't have to have math.
Well, that's not a good lesson.
There's physics. When an actor collides, apply force. This really is amazing. And so we showed this before when it was considerably simpler, but I just wanted to show you again. This is free, TY. I think it's actually might be, I'll have to look and see how much it costs because I bought it before, so it didn't cost me anything. TYNKER, Tinker That Way. It is really, and of course you can create a game and then have it added to your arcade and have other people play your game. So Annabella can write a game and say to Milo and Huck, hey, do you want to play my game? I see. This is maybe where they make a little bit of money. It's you get to buy
schools
stuff.
could use this. Do you know if schools are using
Schools do use it. In fact, they have a version of this specifically for teachers and for schools.
Oh.
So this company is really aiming at teaching kids programming in a way that, so the same kid that's going to love Minecraft is probably going to love this.
Right.
And the trick is not to let them know it's good for them.
Yeah. Well, Minecraft is good. I mean, there's a lot to learn in Minecraft.
Is
I have
like
a friend,
Lego.
his
I
son,
think it's
created a cell in Minecraft, used it as a science project.
Absolutely,
I mean, yeah.
This is
I
more
love those
directed
things.
learning
Right.
than Minecraft is. But I agree with you. Minecraft is because you're constructing something.
Right.
What else?
You know, well, before I get to that, I've been thinking that we have been talking about the tools versus toys use of computers.
This
since
goes way
in the
back to
day.
Tech TV.
You remember, we used to talk about if a kid starts using a computer as a toy, they're going to love it and they're going to live with it for their whole life
it's
and they're
their
going to
little
know
pal.
it. Yeah. But if it's tool, the way some people of our generation grew up.
First time we had a computer maybe was word processor at work, so or a spreadsheet, so it's always been considered a tool.
Yeah.
And we, in fact, that's what we did with the shows. Call for Help was really for the tool group, and the Screensavers was for the toy group.
Yeah.
But that's the good news about, I'm really thrilled, Annabella, Huck, and Milo's generation, and even a little bit to my kids' generation, a little less, is that they're going to grow up with this as something that's always been a part of their life and has often been, as thanks to things like the iPad, fun for them, which is great.
Yes. All right, so I don't have I have tons of games, but my next thing that I want to talk about is Door 24, which is a math program. There's Door 24 Math and Door 24 Plus. Let's start with Door 24 Math. So this is, it's with Curriculum Associates, and it's Common Core aligned. Are you familiar with the Common Core? So that's good. Math is not so fun for any kids.
Right.
But this makes it fun. So you have these little balls, and they have to always add up to 24. So you put like the 18 here, and the 6 here, and then you connect it. And then,
cool.
Yeah. Or like the.
And there's explosions.
And it goes to there's subtraction, there's multiplication. So it's really, it's a cool game. I can't stop playing it.
Is it gonna? It's gonna be things besides 24 eventually, right?
No, it's all 24 for this one.
Oh, okay.
But there's multiplication.
So you're gonna get really good at making
24. Yes. But there's also a game aspect to this. Was that 24? Yeah, 24 Plus, which is more of a game. And I'm still there. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
You think I've been figuring out what the news is today? No, I've been playing this. So I don't know what an iReady student is. I'm guessing it's someone whose their school has paid for this and they use it in the class. These were the names that Milo and I made up, the fake names. He was Jim and I was Mipriff. So I'll play Mipriff. And you can play with 2 players too, which is cool. My boys play this together.
These were kid tested.
They were, yes.
But Mom
Kid
approved.
Yes.
Isn't that
good line?
Yeah. We should use that.
So these are some of the other games that are included. It's because, eventually you have to learn your math facts.
Let's get it
We had, when Abby was a kid, this was the era of CD-ROMs, we had Aladdin math. And it was Disney's Aladdin, and you had to do that. But this actually looks a little bit better.
Yeah, and it's free.
user interface for
Type the
touch
number
is
you
so
see
much
on the
more
screen
intuitive
as fast as you can.
and more intimate.
Then
Right.
press go.
So here they're just giving me like a little test to see how fast I type and how well I know numbers. So I'm just,
Anything. It makes me nervous already. This is going to give
well,
me an
even
ulcer.
this stuff is like it's for littler kids, just recognizing numbers and learning how to type.
Yeah, they're
all
doing
using
something.
iPad. Yeah, and so then it'll just see how fast I am. Did I get that one wrong?
You know your numbers, Megan. I'm very impressed.
I'm good at typing.
I think we're going to promote you to 8th grade.
Yeah, okay. I want to get past this to the game, but
Boy, this is like is this to test if you're drunk? I think this is to see, they want to make sure the kid has not been drinking before they use the game.
So this is 9 to 14-year-olds.
This comes from research at Google to keep people from drunk mailing. They actually did have something on Google Mail that was
Enter the code so you
wow.
can skip this challenge.
Okay, I don't have a code.
Oh
I
no!
think I got it, but
You got to keep going.
and then I have to do math fast.
Oh. Okay, so now they know your speed, so they're going to subtract your ineptitude from the total.
Yeah. All right, how much longer do I have to do this?
Until you make a mistake.
Yes. Door 24. So they have lessons, for parents and teachers that you can.
So if you're homeschooling,
Yes.
core curriculum is still something you want to teach
Common Core, yeah.
So this would help you do that, obviously, and certainly if a kid has to work at home to get ready for school, 'cause
Right.
a lot of times you don't get the attention in school you're expected to know.
Yeah,
this stuff.
you have to do a lot at home.
Yeah.
A lot is, yeah. So one other thing I forgot to mention that they're really good at. Sometimes I know some children who will, when they're playing these games, they just want to get past it. They'll just guess and like press anything
Right.
until they get it right. Like that, we've tried tons of multiplication apps and it's just like guessing until you get it right.
Right.
They actually, that's part of the game. It's like you lose energy points if you guess
they're
wrong.
smart.
So yeah.
They
so
punish
it's got yeah. So
the
there's
guesser.
some, yes, kid tested, mom approved, door 24. It is free.
One more. We have time for
Arcade.
one more.
One more? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. What, is that mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a game, we had some math. Do you meditate?
No. I've thought about it. I think I meditate about meditating a lot. I think I'm going to meditate.
Do you have like anxiety about not meditating?
No, yes.
Okay, that's no good. You just do it or don't.
Just relax about not meditating?
Yes, yeah. Well,
I have meditated. I like to meditate.
I know you and Sarah talked about some meditation.
I don't have a regular
apps.
practice,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
I don't have a regular practice either. I'd like to, but just 5-10 minutes sitting still, being quiet.
It's the sitting still that's hard for me. And being quiet.
Right,
That's a
and
little hard, too.
is being away from your iPad a problem?
That's a third thing. So
okay.
I need something that will help me with those three problems.
Well,
if it's on the iPad, that's one down
okay,
right
here's
there.
this. This is called Stop, Breathe, and Think, and it's
Oh.
free. It's
Would
put
you
out by
use this with kids?
Yes, kids. They've recently done lots of studies. I mean, it's good for relieving stress in kids, and there's a lot of stress on kids these days.
Oh, I know.
And also good for their math. They've done a recent study of it. Kids' math
Meditating's
scores.
good for math.
Yeah, for their math scores. So they ask you your age.
I know why that is, because math is the most stressful subject.
Yeah, you calm.
You get
and then
nervous and you can't, and you get blocked.
Right. So you check in. Let's begin. And
Tilt that a little bit because it's kind of angled and it makes me want to tilt my head sideways.
Tilt it
no,
back?
just turn it. Just turn it. No. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Really?
See, now it's straight
Oh,
on the
okay.
screen.
Huh.
Kind of magic.
So close your eyes. Take a deep breath.
I learned that on TV.
Think about your mind and body feel. Your eyes are closed.
And my legs jiggling.
Okay, so we can check in. So let's do you today. How are you mentally?
I'm great.
Oh, good. Click next. Physically?
Physically, great.
Okay.
I just discovered that once you get married, well, I probably shouldn't go into that. Add emoticons.
Okay, let's add some emotions.
Grateful,
We're
joyful,
meditating.
encouraged.
These are the grateful, joyful, encouraged, but you can do kind, loving, and compassionate, nervous, afraid, worried, hurt, sad, lonely.
Oh, this is great.
Angry.
So
You wanna
this
choose that?
helps a child express something that they may not have words
Right.
for.
Talking about feelings really important for
Yeah.
kids. So are you happy?
I'm
Are you
happy.
glad? You're happy?
I'm happy.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to just choose some for you. Glad,
Yeah,
joyful.
glad,
This was
joyful.
my favorite part of this app. See, too many feelings today.
Oh, can't have so many feelings. You're only allowed 5.
5 feelings, so you're not relieved. I bet you are relieved and excited. You're glad, happy, joyful, relieved.
Okay.
And then it does your meditation based on how you're feeling. So if you're feeling nervous or anxious or... then
So
you
I
could
should do a gratitude meditation.
You could, yeah.
Or a joy meditation.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, let's do it. I want to be grateful.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
close your eyes.
Okay.
And rest your hands on your knees.
Don't do this while you're driving, please.
No, yes.
Bring your awareness
One of these
to
apps
the
you should
touch
use
of
while
your
you're
body
driving.
on your seat.
On my what?
Feel the weight of your body on your chair or cushion. Take a few deep breaths.
See, it dims the screen a little for you. But then
While
you can
you're
do this
breathing
without
deeply.
being far away from your iPad.
Relax your
Again.
shoulders.
Don't do this while you're
Stomach
driving.
No.
muscles. The muscles in your face and your hands and your legs.
Oh,
Feel all the tension in your body.
Okay, it says, don't do this while you're hosting a
You can
show.
finish it.
Okay.
There's a list of meditations. It's free. They're like, it's in-app purchases. You can
I
get
like
additional
this.
meditations.
What's this called
but
again?
It's called Stop, Breathe, and Think.
I don't like this. And is it specifically for kids? No.
No, it's
just-
for everybody. It asks you your age in the beginning, I think,
I like
but
this.
it doesn't change because, I did with
Yeah.
Huck and his meditation.
So how did the kids react to this?
They like it. My kids like to meditate. They sometimes come to do yoga with me too.
Really?
Yes, they teach it in schools, meditation. In
Really?
my kids' school they do, which is also your kids' school.
It's a
now.
public school. It's a
Yeah,
regular school,
public
but it's a little
school.
hippie. It's a hippy-dippy school.
It's a charter school.
It's a charter school.
And you can see
can't-
your progress too.
You can't bring peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to school
You
anymore.
can't bring peanut butter
Which I
anywhere.
thought was very strange.
But that's not actually true. At our kids' school you can.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh.
Some class. It just depends on the classroom.
Oh, okay.
But you get stickers. I haven't earned one yet. My stickers. But here's
I
when
like
you
the
complete
talking
your
about
meditation.
emotions. and
Yeah,
that's
the
good.
talking. Yeah, it's great.
How am I? I'm great. Thank
Stop,
you for
breathe, and
asking.
think. And you can read all about who creates this app. It's from, I think, a Buddhist organization.
You know what it makes me think of? MeUndies. You might wonder why I said that. You think probably I just lost my mind.
You can meditate in your MeUndies.
I do meditate in my MeUndies. And they're great. MeUndies for men and women are the nicest underwear you've ever had. And they're kind of hip, too. In fact, if you take a look at MEUNDIES.com, MeUndies.com. Did you know this? Little fact, fun fact. You could tell Milo and Huck this. They spend 90% of their life in underwear. Right? Mm-hmm. MeUndies says you will get great fitting underwear that's 2 times softer than cotton. It's made of something. Now, you're a woman.
I am.
You've probably heard of modal? Modal?
Modal is the way I pronounce it.
Modal. It's kind of like rayon. It's made out of beechwood trees from the Austrian Alps. I kid you not. And I'm wearing MeUndies right now, and I can tell you, it is soft. It is comfortable. There are very many styles, both for men and women. Polka dots, plaid, funky, pinstripes. Lisa and I have matching undies.
That's sweet.
So they have, you can have polka dots for yourself and for your honey. You can see the photos at MeUndies.com/twit. I'm telling you, with the Modal, they are so soft. Plus, these are environmentally friendly undies. They make them with a CO2 neutral process with a low carbon footprint, saves water and energy using their spun dyed fiber process. But also, Modal fits beautifully snugly. It does change the way you feel. Having comfortable underwear really makes you a little less grumpy, a little happier. Once you try MeUndies, whether it's for work, for play, or for meditation, you will never go back. And they come in this nice little MeUndies bag.
I was just going to comment on that
Yeah,
bag.
isn't
I
that
like
cute?
that. Yeah.
Sarah and I got our MeUndies, and we opened them on the air, and I should get you some MeUndies. Get yourself some good underwear, my friends. Go to MeUndies.com/twit. Get 20% off. What? Did I hear right? 20% off and free shipping on your first order. Save even more when you buy a pack. They guarantee you'll be happy or your first pair is free. You just say, I don't want these, and they'll give you your money back. 20% off when you go to MeUndies.com/twit. We thank MeUndies for their support of iPad today. They laughed when I said, we're going to have an underwear sponsor. They thought I was joking until they tried MeUndies.
Everybody needs underwear.
Made from birch trees from the Austrian Alps. We're actually, Lisa and I are going to visit the MeUndies birch forest
Oh, really?
this summer. Yes.
You can take a tour of the factory?
No,
Just
the
the
factory's
birch-
in the U.S.
Oh.
I'm going to visit the birch forest
Oh.
where they make the Modal.
Great.
I like Modal. Have you ever felt it?
I haven't, and I don't know. It seems like it should be pronounced modal, but it might be modal. I acted like I knew.
Well, rayon's also cellulose. But it's really soft. Anyway, I shouldn't go on and on. For all the links to the apps we mentioned momentarily ago, visit iPad today at twit.tv/IPT. You can watch our past episodes. You can fall in love with Sarah and Leo all over again.
You guys are funny. I really enjoy it.
Funny how? We amuse you?
Yeah, and so
Funny ha-ha?
A lot of my podcasts I listen to in the car, so that's because I like to look.
This
but I
is
can't
not a
look
good
at
show
you.
for the car.
It's a horrible show for the car, but sometimes if that's the only time that
Most
you have.
of our audience watches, but you can listen. We make audio available.
Well, I have the video so it's dangerous sometimes. Because I want to see what you guys are doing.
Do not watch the video while you're driving.
What does that look like? What
are you meditating and watching video? This is not good. Live Saturdays normally. This is a special edition, but live at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 5:30 Eastern, 22:30 UTC on Saturdays. And if you've got an app idea of your own, do us a favor. Save us some research. Email iPadtoday@twit.tv. So, the news. You do this all week. You know what the news is.
I know the news.
Did the world go crazy last week when Apple announced its results? It was Tuesday.
The world went crazy.
The most profitable company in the history of mankind, or something like that, right? $18 billion. But that's the good news. The bad news for iPad Today viewers, iPad sales down 22%.
Yeah. The whole day there were people saying the iPad is dead.
Well, they sold 21 million of them.
Right.
I mean, it's not dead.
No. And we still have, they last longer, right? Like you don't have to buy them so often.
Do you think that's it? What do you think?
I think that's it.
People are just not buying new ones because they're happy with their old ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus are very large. I know when I went to get my iPhone, I thought, well, I don't need the iPhone 6 Plus because I already have an iPad.
Or
like
vice
it's almost as big as an iPad.
versa. I don't need an iPad if I have a 6 Plus.
Right. I think that if you haven't bought one, maybe that's...
74.5 million iPhones sold. This is the 3-month period, but it is the big Christmas holiday season. They announced the iPhones in September, which was the beginning of this quarter. They announced the iPads in October. Still early in the quarter. I think it also tells you that I think this is true, the iPad mini they announced, which is really nothing new, just added a fingerprint reader, was not compelling for most people.
Right.
And people who had an iPad Air did not feel like they needed an iPad Air 2. You have an Air 2 you're using there. Or is it an Air? No, you're using an Air.
Yes.
So do you feel the need?
I don't. I don't feel the need.
I don't either. I'm
no.
using an iPad Air, the original Air as well.
No, but I do just think they last longer.
I think you're right.
They're still useful.
And they're expensive enough that you don't want to buy one every year.
And I think a lot of the sales were due to China, and that's people wanted cell phones. Like that's how they live their lives. And they were waiting for the bigger screen, and now they got it. Wow. Yeah.
And $18 billion, they have $142 billion in the bank. That means literally they could write a check for $142 billion. Tim Cook could come here, say, Leo, you look like you need new shoes. Let me write you a check for $142. You know what? Just to be sure, I don't want to bounce it. Let me write it for $141 billion. That way we'll have a little reserve. And give me the check, and I could go to the bank, and it would be good.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Except that most of that money's in Ireland. That's part of the problem. In fact, Apple today said they're going to... This is the funniest thing in the world. You are the most successful company of all time, the most valuable, the highest profits in history, the most cash in the bank of anybody's ever heard of, and they've gone to borrow money. Today, Apple announced that they're going for a bond measure because they don't want to repatriate all the money overseas to fund operations here. So they're borrowing money.
It's never enough. It just shows you.
So stop trying so hard.
Yeah.
You could have billions. It's never enough. You still have to say, can you give me some?
Right. It always,
I could use some. Could you loan me? I'll give you just a little bit. I'll give you a good interest rate. Just loan me, I don't know, $1 billion. How much do they want? $1 billion? Couple of billion? Just a little bit. Please. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Update to iOS. Did you do your iOS update?
I did on all my devices.
Always,
my iOS
always
devices.
do these. This is it. Just go to General in your settings and Software Update, and it'll check for the update. Let me see if I did it. I don't.
And now
think
you don't
I
need
did.
as much space for the update too, right?
That's a
the
huge
news?
thing. Yeah. So 244 megabytes, but that's not the space we're talking about. It's the space to install because they have to expand it and apply it. And in the past, in fact, with iOS 8, you needed 5 gigabytes free, which if you have a smaller iPad or iPhone, you may not have. So I probably shouldn't do this right now, so I won't.
You've learned so much over the years, haven't you?
Yeah, the show might grind to a halt. But
right, you have to be plugged in, too.
Yeah, so there you go. So Apple, I'm sorry I bothered you. Not today, thank you.
I think under 50% battery, you have to be plugged in. But
do learn more. It reduces the amount of storage required to perform the update, fixes an issue that prevents some users from entering their Apple ID password for messages and FaceTime, addresses an issue that caused Spotlight to... These are all small things. Stop displaying app results. That happened to a few people. I hadn't experienced any of these issues. Multitasking gestures didn't work. As new configuration options for education standardized testing. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, a lot of schools have iPads. My kids have Chromebooks.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a charter school.
Charter school. We're hippies. We don't want iPads. There were security updates. You go to the page that says what the security updates are, and they don't tell you nothing. So I just saved you a click.
Oh, good.
They don't tell you nothing, but we do believe that there were some issues that they are patching. I think Safari issues. I've forgotten. I know they patched the Thunderstrike stuff on the desktop, but I don't think that was affecting the iPad. Nevertheless, when there's an update, I would wait. Here's what I would do, because remember 8.01 really was terrible for some people. It caused them to go offline, and the thumbprint reader stopped working. So what I would do is I'd wait like an hour, 15 minutes tops. And then if you don't hear like your wife screaming, then you can install it. So it's just like it's like a little just don't and what I waited till Jeff Needles installed
it. Yeah.
And when he said don't, then I didn't.
Right. If everyone has a Jeff Needles at
you
home.
need a Jeff Needles to tell you. But you do mostly, the general advice is you should apply these updates, especially when there's security updates, as quickly as you can. But it's a good idea. Just wait a half a day, read 9 to 5 Mac, and see. By the way, speaking of which, there's one fewer Apple blog you can read, TUAW, which I always get this wrong, stands for the unofficial Apple weblog, I think. It was
unofficial Apple
is that right?
weblog.
I sometimes say the unincorporated Apple weblog.
But did they folded them into Engadget?
Well, AOL. So AOL had a couple of has lots of blogs, Joystick as well. They folded them into Engadget. Sounds like they basically. But Engadget, which is also AOL owned, will take whatever staff they didn't send home. So yeah, that's kind of sad. I like TUAW actually. I read it all the time.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll find jobs at other Apple blogs.
There are one or two, I think, still out there.
I think one or two.
Yes, indeed. Let's see. I think that is our news of the day. See, without Sarah, I don't really know.
Well, there's a tip, and
you want to do a tip?
Well, we could. I don't know how much you've talked about the parental controls.
This is a good one. Again, a parent. We talk about them, but we never use them because we don't have children.
Right.
So you do. So let's see a little look at turning on parental controls. Actually, Apple's really improved these over the years.
So we talked a lot earlier about just handing over your iPad.
Right.
You don't necessarily want to just hand it over. So you go to the general settings. I'm going to have to enter my password too, so don't show it.
Don't look.
Don't show it. Okay.
It's that 4-digit code.
So yeah, you have to enter
code.
a password and don't give it to your children. So when you you can. So when
but that's good because then the kids can't do this.
Right. And here's something like, you know what? Sometimes you don't want your kid to be looking on the internet. Like you haven't put any apps on there that you don't.
If it's a 4-year-old, she's playing Toca Hair Salon. You don't want her accidentally to launch Safari.
If it's a 10-year-old and they have enough stuff to occupy them, why bother having that world open? So you just turn it off. And here's the cool thing about this. So I did that, and then Safari just disappears. Like it's not there. It was here.
They don't
but
go, Mommy, what happened to Safari? It's
Chrome
gone.
is still there, of course, but so you'd have to.
If
you use
there is
Chrome,
no way to disable Chrome. You have to you have to delete it.
No, Chrome is in their list too. They're all in the list. So now I don't know if you've had this problem, but sometimes when I click restrictions, it doesn't go right away. I think it gives you a little. It's like it knows that kids would be playing around with it. So it doesn't want to try
because you entered the passcode.
Yeah.
And they don't want you to go back in there for the moment.
It gives you a little timer. So go to your restrictions.
Oh, that's so funny. We'll do this because I can.
Unless you have
this.
something you don't want to. Yeah.
So walk me through. Is it general?
Yes, general.
So go to general.
And then scroll down to restrictions.
And I'm going to scroll down to restrictions. See, I never do this. Mine are off.
And then you can turn off any of your apps. So you can just
First
go
you
through
enable
there.
them.
Yes, don't show his password either.
No, you can show this. What? Somebody's going to come to the studio and use my computer?
Oh, of course. And you never reuse passwords.
I don't.
You know. Okay.
No, I'm making one up right now.
Oh,
So-
you had to make one up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here we go. Safari, you could turn off the camera.
Right, which is
So-
FaceTime. It's a good thing you don't want to have kids, especially like if your
FaceTime.
kids are a little bit older, like 10, 11, 12,
You
you're
could
leaving them
accidentally
home
call
alone.
somebody. Yeah.
You know, you don't want to have
Yeah.
them to have the access to that.
Syrian dictation is important as well if the kid sometimes is, holding the button. A lot of kids just hold the button.
Yeah.
And if you hold the button, all of a sudden, you're sitting here, you're playing your game, and what's this, Mommy?
Right.
What? Now there's a lady, Mommy, there's a lady in the iPad. She's talking to me.
So then you just go through and choose all the apps you want to turn off, and then you hand it over. So like, say you want to.
I wonder if I can get back in now. Do you think that restriction thing will apply to me?
Did you remember the password you just created? Someone else
No.
is watching, so.
No. Okay. AirDrop, you can
can't.
turn that off. That's a way to get files into and out. The iTunes Store, turn that off. And then this is the ratings for content. So if you have the iTunes on there and they're downloading movies or TV shows or books, you could say, and even apps have content restrictions. You've probably seen those.
Right.
So the ages are 4, 9, 12, 17.
So I have a little soapbox about parental controls.
Yes.
Is that they're not a replacement for talking to your kid.
No, I agree with you.
Which is, and kids are going to get through them. But it's just kind of, for me, it's like a safe, I'll go like, well, here, you can use the iPad, do your math, but I'm going to turn all these off. And so, they're pretty good about listening to me, but it's not, it's not foolproof.
You still want to have the conversation. Remember, if you see anything that makes you uncomfortable, I want you to come talk to me.
Right, that's the biggest
And-
one.
yeah,
Yeah, because that's the
because-
thing. Kids are going to see pornography on the internet. They
Yeah.
just are. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
This I really like, and this is something that is, I'm glad Apple did this. If you go into, and this is in the restrictions section, websites, you can say limit adult content, but you can also say, and this is called what we call whitelisting. I only want them to be able to go to 4 websites, and they give you some to start with, but you can add your own. I think this is, especially when they're younger, and they're not going to be doing Google searches, and they're not going to be doing homework on this. You could say, look, you can go to National Geographic Kids, you can go to Yahoo for Kids, and you can go to Disney. Maybe you want to leave Disney out let's say How Stuff Works. That's great. Or you can add. You could say you can go to Twit, but you can't go anywhere else. That means that the browser's still there, Safari's still there, but there's no chance of them accidentally stumbling on an inappropriate site because you've said you could only go to whitelisted sites. So the difference is if you say limit adult content, that's blacklisting. You're going to say, I don't want people to see adult stuff. If you'd say specific websites, that's whitelisting. You say, I only want them to see these sites. And I think that actually works better. This is for the really young. The kids who are not doing homework, who are not, inquisitive. I'm sure, although having How Stuff Works, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be, this kind of whitelisting and blacklisting stuff was really complicated before there were apps.
Right.
Because you really had to go in there. But now that there are so many educational apps, it's really not hard
There's
to just
plenty
turn
for
off
them
the
to do.
internet altogether and
There's
then
plenty
just
for them
hand
to
it
do.
over.
Yep.
And then, you just go through again and turn it back on.
Right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
We used, because there were a variety of devices on the home network, we used OpenDNS, which you put the settings on your router.
Right.
And then whether it's an iPad or a laptop or a desktop, you're still controlling what they can go see. And the truth is, even kids who are smart enough to get around controls on the actual device, generally, if you lock the router, they're not going to be able to get into the router.
Right.
So that worked out very well for us as the kids got later.
Yeah.
I have a book report.
Oh.
So a couple of episodes ago, we showed how you could get a physical postcard made with the app Postagram, and I made one, and here it is. So maybe let me show you over here so I can show you some of the features of it. This will pop out. It's not magnetic, but it will pop out. And there's your message, by the way, and a little picture of me. Not a great picture of me. And I sent it to Lisa. So I said, thinking of you, and there I am with a giraffe. It just happens to be what I've had there. This is also cool. So I could pop this out.
Is that a real giraffe?
Yeah.
It wasn't photoshopped?
No.
Was it at Safari West?
No, it was at the San Diego Zoo.
Oh.
And the giraffes are very friendly. They come up and you give them bamboo shoots.
And do they eat your
I
phones?
was frankly trying to play words with friends. I was a little annoyed, but he had such a good suggestion that I kind of, I eased up on him. I said, hey, you know what? Thanks, buddy. And this is a nice thing. Here's a little QR code that you can scan, and then you'll get the... So in order to make this, I had to upload it to Postagram. And again, this was something we showed on the show, so I have the Postagram app on my iPad. So I uploaded it to Postagram. So they have a copy of the photo. They had to print it. Now, when I scan that, that goes to your phone. So if I scan that on my phone, they'll have it. So this is a nice little service. And you pay, it's about $1.50, I think, or something like that, to send a physical postcard, postage paid and everything. Isn't that sweet?
I like that.
From Sincerely. And I got an email from the guy who wrote the software who said, it's so cool to see software I wrote on iPad today. Well, you wrote some really nice software, so I wanted to mention that. And along those lines, we got an email, didn't we?
We did. Do you want me to read it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Regarding the app Postagram, whatever happened to Apple's app Cards? This was a fantastic app that allowed you to create cards of every type from scratch or from a template. When completed, they would be mailed, snail mail to the recipient. One day, it simply stopped working. When you click on the app, it will open, but the ability to mail the card is gone.
And if you search for cards, I remember when they announced cards,
it was Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
From Bismarck.
In Bismarck, North Dakota?
Yes, North Dakota.
I love Bismarck, North Dakota. Wasn't that a character in like Carmen Sandiego, Bismarck, North Dakota? His name was Bismarck
Carmen
North?
Sandiego was
Before your
both before
time?
and after my time.
Yeah. So I remember the Apple keynote. Remember this? This was a keynote, and they went on and on about cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess they've killed it because I don't see it anymore in the App Store.
So sad.
You search for cards. It actually was great, but I guess nobody used it. There are lots of third-party apps like Postagram that do pretty much the same thing. But that is kind of a surprise.
It says you can still order beautiful letterpress cards customized with your photos and using iPhoto on your Mac. So you just can do it through iPhoto.
I don't have a Mac. I have an iPad. What about that, Apple?
Good point.
So that's Apple's way of saying, why don't you have a Mac? You could do this on your Mac.
Well, maybe you guys could do a show all devoted to cards, sending cards and making cards.
We could do that. I will talk to Sarah. But thank you, Todd, because that's a good point. And then from Rich in Westbury, New York, a little Ask Leo question. As you guys obviously know, Apple patented something that would allow them to begin storing footprints in iCloud. Fingerprints. Not footprints.
I want to use a footprint on my iPad.
There's a difference. Since then, I've seen outrage on social networks from everyone I've seen talking about it. Even Leo said on MacBreak Weekly, no one wants that. My question is, what's the big deal? I understand that some might not be comfortable with their fingerprint being stored in iCloud, but am I missing something? Is there something that people could do with my fingerprint that they can't do without it? Personally, I'd love the option in my iCloud settings to store my Touch ID, which you program your phone or your iPad, and then I could have the option to start using Touch ID upon restarting the device or putting it on my new device. He says, I hate setting up Touch ID and Apple Pay every time I do a factory reset. Rich in Westbury, New York. It's a good question. The reason, by the way, I'm not worried about Apple doing Touch ID in the cloud because you may remember this when they announced Touch ID. When you give them your fingerprint, they're not storing your fingerprint. They're storing some metadata about your fingerprint that isn't the same thing. And they store that in a secure store on the iPad or iPhone. So the idea of taking that, not your fingerprint, but that metadata and storing it in the cloud doesn't bother me. The fingerprint would bother me. Your fingerprint is something that can be used, well, think about it, to identify you. And if your fingerprint is in the cloud, then as we know from previous experience, anything on the cloud can and possibly will be stolen and misused. So storing your fingerprint in the cloud is something that I think people are rightly concerned about. It's not actually what Apple's proposing. They're proposing storing the points that they create in the iPad. They create metadata that shows certain points. That's the matching. I can't remember, 5 or 6 points. If that matches, then it's the right fingerprint. But it isn't your fingerprint, and it can't be used as your fingerprint, except maybe with another Apple device. So that might be something that you'd kind of want to worry about. This is something Apple plans, I think. So.
Do you remember that news story a couple weeks ago where they were saying the guy was going to take people's fingerprints off of the TV, like it was like in Germany or something.
They can
were
read
gonna-
the fingerprints.
So we should be wearing gloves, or else
They've been able to do that for a while with keys. So if they have a picture of you using your key to get in your door, they've got the key. It's very easy to make a new key.
Right.
Because all the information is right there. So I don't know what the answer is to that. Fingerprints.
Well, it sounds like it's not as bad as you think, but you should always be careful about what you store in the cloud.
Would you like to send us an email? Not you. You could just talk to me.
Okay.
But if the rest of you...
I enjoy talking to you.
You could just say, hey, Leo, and I'll just, go, what? But if you aren't sitting right next to me, you can write us at iPadtoday@twit.tv. And this is something Sarah and I have wanted people to do for as long as we've been doing this show, which is something like 5 years. You could leave us a voicemail. We have a special number for you. Now, again, the key is don't put your full name, just your first name and city. Make it under 30 seconds. If it's 5 minutes, I'm not going to edit it. So make it 30 seconds, but you can make a comment, a question, a suggestion. Make a video, put it on YouTube, or call 757-504-IPAD. 757-504-IPAD. And, a little bonus for you. Sarah still hasn't fixed the outgoing message on that. So just, I don't...
What does it say?
I don't know. She's embarrassed
Was
about
it broken? Oh,
it was
she was
weird.
Oh. She didn't like the sound of her voice?
Yeah, everybody should just call it and listen. I don't know. 757.
I wanna call and listen.
I know. I keep thinking, and then I forget. It's because the number is not. It's hard to remember. Remember it now. 757. That's like a 747. Only 10 better.
757.
And then 504. What do you think?
That's
What's
area
the
code for
mnemonic?
some place.
It sounds like Portland. 757-504-IPAD. Question, a comment, and an idea. Upload the video, send us a link, or call and leave a voicemail. First name and city only, please. We don't want your last name because we don't want you to be identified on the show because then you might become more famous than us. And keep it short.
504 is the area code for southeastern Louisiana.
That's it.
You wanted
so
to know
there,
that.
that's much easier. So remember a plane flying over southeastern Louisiana. It looks like a 747, but it's just 10 inches bigger. So it's 757, and it's flying over southwest Louisiana. And that makes me want to put on this hat and start yodeling. This is the hat I wore when I went to see the birch trees in Austria, where they make my underpants.
Are these hats for me?
Yeah, pick one.
Oh.
We gave you a choice.
Oh.
Very attractive.
Ooh, matches my
Oh, I
outfit.
love that. You look Slavic. Was that blue steel you just did?
Yes.
I thought so. We wear half caps. We wear half caps. You're forgiven if you just reached over to kiss your iPad. I'm sorry. We wear half caps to signify that this is the end of the show, the portion of the show where we take an app that we've been using, that we love, that we think is great, or in this case, something that just came out that you might want to know about.
Yeah. Should I start?
Please do.
Okay, well, my App Cap award is Outlook, which is the new Outlook app for iOS. And we're showing it. I have no incriminating emails here. So this is
It looks just like Outlook.
It does, yeah. And I'll.
So Microsoft Outlook, for those of you who've lived in the Apple world for ages, is the email program everybody uses. And they do have it on, I think on Office they used to have it. I don't know if they still do.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
But this one was based on an app called Acompli. Do you remember Acompli?
This is Acompli?
It's Acompli.
They bought Acompli?
They bought Acompli.
Well,
They
I love
acquired
Acompli.
Acompli.
Oh.
And it's basically the same thing as Acompli.
Oh,
and
well,
it works great.
That's better than Outlook.
It is better than Outlook. And
Especially for
I've tried
touch.
a lot of different apps for iOS and for Android, frankly, to get my email, and it is my favorite. I'll have to say.
You know what? Acompli was an app cap some time ago.
Yeah. Well, they are now Outlook.
So show us the features here.
What I like is direct access to your calendar, which you think would be pretty easy, but it's just right there in your email.
That's something
Usually it's
Outlook
not.
on the desktop did, and it's
Yeah,
hard to do.
but not on
I love
an
this.
app. And
Yeah.
your files and
Oh, nice.
your people.
So those are all the
Those are all
attachments,
my
and here's
email
your calendar.
addresses.
That's all right, because that was so short. There's no way they could freeze the screen and get all those addresses.
So now I use Mail. Do you use Mailbox ever? That's the one that I was using before, the
Yes.
Mailbox. And
Does
it
it do
gives you
the
that
swipe?
feature to swipe. And,
Yeah?
Well, yeah, the swipe to archive
Oh.
or swipe to schedule.
Oh, love that.
So you can schedule. I can
Will
get
that
that
email
library
come
reminder
back?
in a few hours. it will come back in a few hours, or this evening, or tomorrow morning, or I get to choose a time.
Yeah.
So those were, as we discussed before the show, my emails from the public library reminding me I had things on holds.
That's exciting. What are you waiting for? Anything good?
Well, I was telling you before, I was watching Girls on
the
on
TV
DVD.
show on HBO.
Yeah, but then I didn't have enough time. He only gives you a week, so maybe I'm not going to BitTorrent it, but maybe it's
So wait a minute, you got the whole season for a week? You have to have a week to watch the whole season? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, then you can schedule that for later. And
can you renew it? Or do you have to bring it back to renew it?
No, well, if someone else wants it. There's a lot of people in Petaluma that also watch Girls on DVD.
It's kind of the #1 show in Petaluma.
Yeah, I don't know that. So that's the focus, which is like, you know, that Google Priority Mailbox does the same thing. It does a pretty good job of.
I like Inbox a lot,
yeah. And these are like all of my spam and that kind of stuff and other things.
But if you're using Inbox, this might have more features.
It does.
But still give you the swiping.
Okay, so now here's the thing. This was my app cap. I've been working on this show since you told me I was doing it. And then I was looking and someone said there's security issues with Outlook.
I saw that. There was a blog post.
Yes, his name the blogger was Renee Winklemeyer. And he said that they've failed in private. And I was like,
that
oh,
was
no,
the Winklemeyer report. I read that blog regularly.
And he said they store your information in the cloud.
Oh, shocking. Up there with your fingerprint.
Right, but all these apps store your information.
It's called email, folks. It's the original cloud app.
Right, so...
If your email weren't in the cloud, it would be a postcard.
Exactly.
It would be mail.
So, I mean, I guess if you're using this for
Was
your
that what he
corporate-
said?
Yeah, he said a lot of you can we can put a
That
link
was
to his
what was
blog.
wrong with it?
Well, there were a lot of things that were wrong with it. He said there was that, and there was just that you couldn't remove it, and there were some other things. So you
we
were
should
getting,
ask an expert.
Well, I did, because see, I would have asked you. You're an expert, but you're getting married. So who would I call? Who are you gonna call? Steve Gibson.
Ah.
And Steve and I, we
went
go
over
way
it?
back. Do you remember when we went to that conference? The
What?
three of us. It was the Gnome Decks. Do you remember?
Oh, you were at Gnome Decks?
Yes, and it was like
In Des Moines.
I don't know, yeah.
Chris
And we
Pirillo's
went, yeah,
conference.
and the three of us went out to dinner.
You
we
went
ate
too?
steak. Yes.
I don't remember you there. I remember Steve there.
Steve probably remembers. Ask him.
Were you
Next time
there?
talk to him. Maybe
were
you
you
went
there
many
when,
years
when
ago.
I sang You Don't Bring Me Flowers?
Yes. Yes,
The duet?
I was. I had it on videotape with my video camera.
That was you that taped that?
Yes.
God.
I think actually there was video on cameras back then. It wasn't that long ago. But Steve, I hadn't talked to him in a long time, but he was so nice to email me right away because I was like, Steve, what's up with Outlook? And he said I could quote him on this. He said that this was kind of a sky is falling kind of blog post. And he said, you know, I don't know that Steve would use this, but he has extra special, you know, secret email programs. But he says in Microsoft's defense, while these features should arguably have been there from the start, the features to keep you more private, there are also the sorts of things that are not maliciously missing. They just haven't been added yet. And I imagine as the product offering matures, they will be. So... Are you looking at the blog post to see what he said?
No, I was seeing if I could find the video you took of me.
The important things, singing You Don't Bring Me Flowers. I had forgotten that. That's the kind of thing that's like buried deep into your brain until someone plucks it out.
Yeah.
But yes, I was at Gnome Decks. It was awesome. And you and Steve and I went out to dinner and ate
It was so
steak.
much fun. I do remember the steak.
Yeah.
I also remember the. I also remember.
He doesn't remember. I was there.
I remember
the steak.
I also remember that much of Des Moines is in tunnels. It's kind of like a hamster. If you've ever been to Des Moines, you actually don't ever have to go outside. You can go through the entire town, city of Des Moines without ever going outside because there's tunnels linking everything, like a hamster maze.
Now I don't remember that. Were you there? Were you at Gnome
I might have
Decks?
made
I
that
don't
up.
even think it was you. I think it was.
It was
I don't
me and
know.
a big sweaty
Brian
guy.
Gumble and
It was
Steve
me
Gibson.
and a big sweaty guy singing You Don't Bring Me Flowers.
You trying to
David, his name was David.
Really?
I'm trying to remember this. He is the 5th, the 8th, the 6th. David something the 6th.
Was he a?
He's an actor in a movie. He's a TV actor.
He was
Plays,
a famous person?
No, not
at Gnome
really.
Decks?
He was about to become famous.
Really?
David Lawrence, the 8th. And there
David
is the link
Lawrence.
right
Oh,
there.
gosh.
Thank you, Scooter
What?
X. And this is
How
video
do you people
shot by
find
Megan
this?
Morrone, I believe.
I think so. Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll play that a little
David
later on.
Lawrence. I remember
Remember
David
him?
Lawrence. Yes.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. I think I maybe didn't shoot that.
No, because if you'd shot it, it would have been.
David Lawrence. Was he? He was. What? That was great.
This looks like maybe a taxi cam video.
I know. I think it was like my elf.
It was your Canon
My
Elf.
Canon elf.
Might have been. So this is something. So your app cap.
Yeah, my app cap
is Outlook.
Outlook. I love it. But on iPad.
And don't worry about security, because
Yeah,
that's not a big deal.
But unless you're in the corporate environment, but it is a Microsoft. I mean, they're worried about security. But on i5 for the iPhone, I'm going to review 5 different apps.
Email apps.
Yes, for the
And we should mention that since we saw you last, since you did Jumping Monkeys, which was a great show and is still on our archives at twit.tv, probably twit.tv/JM, which it was a show about parenting.
in the digital age.
In the digital age. That was the byline. That since then you've been working, writing security stuff for Microsoft, for normal people.
Yes, for what we call consumers.
Consumers, what a thought.
Yeah, just writing content, how to avoid fraud and viruses,
Yeah.
and some with parental
For
controls.
9 years you've been doing that?
I did, yeah, from my little office in Petaluma. Yes, I was a contractor.
Yeah.
But
Well, anyway, we're glad
no longer.
we stole you away
Cut the
from
ties.
Microsoft. Yep.
Yeah.
So let me show you a game that my wife, boy, that's weird. My wife
Your
can't stop
beautiful
playing.
wife,
On our
Lisa.
honeymoon, she's playing word bubbles. In the car, she's playing word bubbles. Now, by the way, little tip here. When you have Milo and Huck install a game that bugs them a lot with notifications,
You don't allow.
allow.
Yeah.
And you can even go in and turn that off. This is a hard game. But we'll play at the beginning level because it's pretty easy. So in word bubbles, your challenge is to find hidden words in a grid made up of bubbles. Seems easy, doesn't it? Well, that's not so hard. C-A-R. The words will be connectable by a line, right? Okay, that seemed pretty easy. F-U-N. That's fun. All right. Now you can buy hints.
Oh, for
It's a
real
free
money?
game with a little ad down in the bottom. C-A-T. Yeah, for real money, and you can buy hint packs. But it gets hard pretty fast. All right, I'm already stumped.
Come on.
Really?
On your boat?
I say...
Not the ocean, but the...
See, that actually, ice.
It's very
okay.
cold.
It's very cold. Okay, that's good. This is good. We've invented a new game. The password is
It's hot.
sun. So the first round, you're gonna say subscribe to push notifications will let you know about future bonuses when
yeah, they really
load,
want
blah
you
blah
to
blah.
know.
Yeah.
I knew that you could turn off notifications, but with kids, like when they have their own devices, they don't want to turn
They
them
don't
off.
want them. They want them.
Yeah.
They want them.
They want 'em.
So it's really easy
Hats,
right now,
like cap.
like we're wearing. In fact, I really wish I could jump ahead because it's kind of embarrassingly.
You're not young anymore.
I'm
You're
old. But eventually you get 7-letter words. 6. I mean, it gets very hard very quickly.
But this would be good for a kid, as long as we're talking
Initially,
about,
but I'm telling you, it gets hard, and
It's like
so that was just
Wordle.
the
Have you ever
first-
played Wordle?
It's like Wordle. It's very much like Wordle. Okay, it's already starting to get a little Olin lion. Okay, it's one of those things. Okay, it's like Merv Griffin. He designed Wheel of Fortune so the person watching at home would find it easy,
Right.
but the person playing would have incentive not to solve it. So you feel smart watching the game.
Right.
So I am making you feel
Right.
smart because I don't know what the hell.
That's how I felt when I was trying to add up to 24 earlier.
Yeah. No, it's when you're doing it on the TV, it's a little bit harder. This game gets harder, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But you got to apparently go through some very easy levels at first. No, don't connect me to Facebook.
What's this
kale.
called? Bubble
we
what?
love kale. Now, see, kale is a word.
Do you really love kale?
Who doesn't love kale? You don't like kale? You seem so healthy.
I like kale.
But you suspect that I don't like.
Well, I like it. I wouldn't say I love it.
Okay, Amira Elgin, Mike's wife, makes a kale salad. You chop it very finely. You might
Rub
destem
it
it.
in olive oil.
Olive oil, maybe a little bit of lemon. Put in a little shallot, perhaps. Parmigiano, Reggiano.
Oh, yeah, I do get that at Whole Foods sometimes. They have it.
Yeah, they make it at Whole Foods, but hers is like, if you ever get it.
Yeah. Well, I would like to be invited over to their house for dinner.
You should, because
how
and
does
then
that
Mike
happen?
makes a pizza, and then they dance the mazurka, or is it the berserker?
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe because we talked about his kids' program, then he'll
Maybe
invite
he
us
will.
both.
Plam is a word, isn't it? Lamp?
Oh, like if you do the word they're not thinking of, do they still?
Yeah. Lamp is a word,
Oh,
guys.
interesting. But it's palm, I think, is what they want you to say. But that
I don't want to ever play this with you, can I just say? Because you're obviously, like, literary. I think it's mice. What do you think?
Miche,
Miche.
obviously.
Como so miche. Sif. Sp. Fist. Do you know the word? I mean, don't tell me, but I mean, if you look at that, you know the word, right? Yeah, sure you do. Hips don't lie. No.
I think you just did it wrong. Wait, it's not hips?
No. Shit. That was hard.
Well, it's.
It
yeah.
should give you hips.
For kids, I don't think that's good because it's like, oh, then suddenly they think
hips is not a word.
Yeah.
So don't play this, kids. This will pollute
Can you
your
play
mind.
with other people on the word bubbles?
I don't.
Did you guys play together?
Yeah, because she'll say, "What's an 8-letter word that has R, C, Q, U, N, P, Y?" And I'll go away from me now. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not bear. Is it bra? Is it? I don't know what it is. Is it?
It's not bear?
It's Arab. Oh. I was spelling B-A-R-E.
Yeah.
Bear.
Of course you were.
That reminds me of when I was a child and I spelled deer, D-E-E-R, and the teacher yelled at me.
Right. Well, that's the same experience you might
It's
have
called
here.
a homonym.
Yeah. You still remember that?
And I remember it. I'm carrying the wounds.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
We should
why
look
I
her up on
smoke.
Google.
Yeah.
We should Google her. What happens now? This is so fun. I hope that
We go home.
you can. Well, I have another show to do. I don't know about you.
That concludes iPad Today. Megan Morrone, thank you so much for filling in for Sarah
I will fill
Lane.
in whenever she.
You're the greatest.
No, you are.
I am so happy. Seriously, in all sincerity, I'm so happy that we were able to snag you and make you a part of the Twit family once again.
Well,
Welcome
I am
back.
grateful because I don't know that work should be as fun as working here is. It's hard, but it's fun.
Now, here's how we close iPad Today.
Okay.
For reasons no one knows, we howl like wolves.
Oh, we don't look. Maybe you can play this Vine video of this frog howling because do you have.
That's it for iPad Today. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us. We'll see you next time. Ow!